Yo, what's up, guys? This is Jonathan. We're going to be talking about the divisiveness in Star Wars. Is it racism? Now, recently there's been a big uproar, let's just say, or thing with Star Wars Theory and Star Wars Explained, and him trying to get his channel demonetized based off of his comments on Amanda Steinberg and her cancellation of The Acolyte. Now, I've watched his video and I watched her video, and I will say, and nowhere in her video did she say that all fans who didn't like The Acolyte were misogynistic or part of the alt-right or anything like that. She never said that. She said that she faced certain vitriol from that group as far as that goes. And is that true? It could be true. You can't say that it's not true, because even in Star Wars, the Force Awakens, I remember some of the promotional material that they had for John Boyega. There was a little bit of pushback when they were like, oh, the Black Jedi. People will say that that's not true because of Mace Windu being in the prequels. Yes, that's true, but let's just be real. We're in a different political time now. So were there a little bit of pushback? Maybe, maybe not. Is that the reason for The Acolyte being canceled? Of course not. The show was absolutely terrible. They took certain elements from the originals, or not original, but prequel trilogy, like the virgin birth of Anakin Skywalker, and his uniqueness that was around that, the Christ birth. And they took that and they kind of flipped it and kind of made it its own thing with her character, her being born of the Force. But it was like, people didn't like it because of that. You know what I'm saying? And then they have like the old Plagueis at the end showing up, spinal, but basically mustache twirling villain at the end. Like, it was trash as far as that goes. Now, Star Wars Theory himself, his response, racism, like, let's just be real. Yeah, like, that wasn't the reason for the cancellation. So, but should his channel get demonetized? Absolutely not. I've been a huge Star Wars Theory fan since 2016. I used to work a night shift job, and I will say a lot of his videos and a lot of his theories, basically his Star Wars theories, they actually carried me through a lot of those night shifts. I will say that a lot of those night shifts in the hospital, I used to be listening and doing my job. So I will say thank you, Star Wars Theory, for that. So Star Wars Explained is wrong. Do not demonetize Star Wars Theory. That's my guy right there. Still subscribe to his channel. But saying that she didn't face that, we're in a different time, different age, so we can't really compare our time now to how it was when when the prequels came out. Let's be real. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's like in the last 10 years or so, there's been a huge shift in, like, where it seems like old problems are surfacing again. Or maybe it's because camera phones and all that kind of stuff made it more accessible to see these things. But I don't know. I'm not sure as far as that goes. Is that like I said, is that the reason for the cancellation of the Acolyte? Absolutely not. That show was terrible. Let's call it what it is. The reason why The Mandalorian was so successful was because it wasn't a love letter to the OG trilogy, or it wasn't a love letter to the prequel trilogy. It was its own thing. Like, as far as if you're not a Star Wars nerd and didn't watch the comic books, then this was something totally different as far as that goes. This is an unexplored side with a cinematic budget. Let's be real. They spent money on The Mandalorian. So the first, I would say, was it 3 seasons, guys? I'm not sure. First 2 seasons were excellent. It had nothing to do with Sith or Jedi. So when you make a love letter to the prequels or the originals, then you're gonna piss off one of those sides as far as that goes. Especially with the Force Awakens, for example. I went to go see that in theaters with my friends, and we were like, afterwards we're like, okay, I guess it was a good start, but we're like, the lightsaber battles were trash. But then the guys next to us, it was everything I wanted and more. I was like, okay, well, that's the difference between the two sides. It's like, if you make a love letter to one other side is gonna be like, that like sucks. So that's the big problem with Star Wars. So you gotta make something that's like unexplored, like The Mandalorian was. Or if you make something, you have to make something that would, like, both would like. Prequel and trilogy fans will like a Darth Vader show. prequel and trilogy fans with like a Luke Skywalker show. And you don't have to necessarily, or it could be its own show with its own characters, but leave out all content as far as like, you know, nostalgia or something like that. Just make it its own thing at this point. That's what the downfall was with the sequel trilogy. Leaned too far on nostalgia. Force Awakens was basically New Hope all over again. They introduced Poe was a whole nother Han Solo, and they had the Rey, who was another Jedi, who was from a desert planet. It was like, bro, we're done with this story at this point. It's like, stop beating a dead horse. Let's move on. We wanted original material as Star Wars fans. Am I right? So if you think that I'm right, you guys can just hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars Theory. Shout him out right there, and just let me know what you think.